Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So, just recently, the internet is still going on about that Shannon Sharp Katt Williams interview. It was something else. It was the interview that was heard around the world, if you will. And it's really messed up because there was a lot of people, like I've said before multiple times, coming out of the woodwork to try and discredit this man, call him crazy, saying, oh, he was just high, he was just drinking a lot, oh, he was just this, he was just that. But once again, nobody said that he was lying. Nobody has filed a lawsuit. I keep telling y'all, look at the breadcrumbs. Look at how people are reacting, and you'll know who's who and where they stand. Now, I wasn't surprised when the people who first came out and had something to say. Of course, like I said, hit dogs holler all the time, every time. But what did actually kind of shock me a little bit was Dave Chappelle. Apparently, this man had something, I guess, bad to say about Katt Williams, or he felt some kind of way, basically saying, "Oh, you coming after all the black men? You're attacking all of the people in comedy that are supposed to be like your brother in arms, whatever." That's a joke because ain't no brother in arms, ain't no friends in the industry. Like he said, like Katt Williams said, it's all about clicks. And if you're not trying to sell your morals out and be a part of those cliques, then you are an enemy of the clique. And some people would rather be an enemy of the clique than, do what they doing to get in it. And I don't blame them because I wouldn't want to do that either. I wouldn't want my morals to be put up for the highest bidder just for what? To be going around with them, doing stuff with them? Nah, I'm good. And it's funny that he would even say something like that, try to even insinuate that Katt Williams was only going after the black comedians. It's funny that he would say that because remember what Katt Williams literally said in the interview? It's not about race, it transcends race. And it's really ridiculous and quite suspect actually that they keep bringing that up because any other time we bring up race, we say, oh, y'all over here acting like plumb idiots. See, the white people aren't doing that. The Asians aren't doing that. And the Hispanics, the Mexicans, they want to be like, oh, we ain't worried about them. But then when you're calling them out and holding them accountable, why you don't say anything to the white people who doing it? That is disturbing to me, really. I'm gonna be honest. And once again, it has nothing to do with race. Katt Williams was well within his grounds to do what he did. He was holding men in the community accountable for the ridiculous stuff that they've been doing, calling them out since they wanted to start mess with him first. I guess they forgot the saying, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Don't mess around, and you won't have to find out. Because remember the cliques I was talking about earlier, which he brought up in that interview? Didn't Katt Williams low-key insinuate that Kevin Hart was one of the main people in that clique, if you will? One of the main little ringleaders, if you will? And he was one of the first people who had something disrespectful to say about Katt Williams. Y'all remember, I know y'all remember when he went to the Breakfast Club and basically made that man seem like he was a drug addict, talking about, oh, well, the reason why he's in the position he's in, he doesn't have a position in the industry, is because he chose drugs. At that point, Katt Williams could have got on the internet and cussed him out or checked him, but he didn't. And people have been saying stuff about him ever since, like I said, making him seem like he's crazy for only exposing the truth. And now the one time he decides to say something and check people in a hilarious way, the way that they deserve to be checked, now they all have a problem. Now he's only picking on black men, but they didn't have a problem picking on that black man, Katt Williams. But now he's the issue. You see how hypocritical this is? You see why I keep telling y'all these people are full of it? And it's not a secret that there are very famous white men in the industry, actors who have been put in a dress as well or chose to put on a dress. Pedro Pascal comes to my mind, one of the main people. He had on a dress on the SNL skit, so it's no secret that they have white men in the industry doing this as well. But like I said, he was addressing the people in his community, the men who look like him, the men who most concerns the community and the backlash that the community is going to get because of the way they are being portrayed by these people. And we're not going to sit up here and act like he didn't say anything at all about these white men, because didn't he call out Joe Rogan? Didn't he mention Epstein? Every time he talks about the industry and the people high up there, who do they think he's talking about? Who do they think these people are comprised of? Now, some people don't like the fact that he spoke well of Gary Owens, when he said, oh, well, why do you think, even though he's white, which is 100% the truth, he still hasn't broken through a certain threshold because he decided to not go in certain doors. He decided not to do certain things, not to sell himself out in certain ways so that he could get to certain places that you can only get when you sell out yourself to a certain degree. I guess the black comedians had an issue with him mentioning that, with him giving him those accolades for him doing that. And he did come out and say that he felt like he was put in a position where he might have been, offered a chance to do some things that he didn't want to do for a lot of money. And he said no, which is probably why, like he said in that interview, why he's still in the place that he is. Not that he isn't, pretty high up there already. But yeah, definitely I'm sure he would have been further if he would have chose to do some stuff that he didn't want to do that wasn't right to do. Like I said, some people still didn't care about that because they don't really like Gary Owens. Some people just don't like him because of what happened between him and his wife. I think she's now his ex-wife, and some other rumors that are floating out there about him. But despite all that, like I said, what you can't say that he did, which can't be said for the other people who were getting on real butthurt and offended, coming at Katt Williams all crazy because of what he said, is due to the fact that unlike them, he didn't put on a dress, he didn't sell his morals out. That's what this is all boiling down to. They're mad because he said anything about that man because he doesn't fall under the same category that they all do right now. And speaking of men in the industry putting on dresses, Katt Williams could have called out Dave Chappelle too, because there is actually a video of Dave Chappelle on the internet wearing a dress. So he's right along with all the rest of the black comics and comedians who did that. He could have called him out as well, specifically. He could have name dropped him specifically, but he didn't. He actually spoke very well, if I'm not mistaken, about Dave Chappelle. And for him to turn around and throw shade at Katt Williams in defense of a bunch of other comedians who not only disrespected themselves, but other people. Like, what is wrong with him? Well, actually, I do know what's wrong with him, because a lot of people have also been seeing this as well. And I also think that he took offense whenever Katt Williams mentioned that, light-skinned white face joke. Like I told y'all before, I didn't agree with him saying that because I don't like it when people make fun of the appearance of dark-skinned women. So I'm not going to sit up and laugh when somebody does it to light-skinned women. Although, once again, what he said has still some truth to it. He was saying whenever you get up to a certain place in the industry, they all start to have the same things. Their wives all start to look the same. They start to act a certain kind of way. They start to talk a certain kind of way. They start to walk a certain kind of way. Even Dr. Umar mentioned that in his sit down with the Art of Dialogue. And I talked about that in the video that I made not too long ago. How when they get up in these high places in the industry, they start dating people outside of their race. They start dating women that didn't look like them. They stop dating the women that actually held them down and go get with the women who wouldn't have looked at them twice if they were broke. That was very much the truth. And I do think that Dave Chappelle took that personally, because otherwise, why did he say anything about it? Why did he say anything about it? And another thing that somebody could have brought up and threw in his face, along with the dress that he also put on. Everybody loves the Chappelle show so much. They talk about how they wish that he would bring it back and all this kind of stuff. We could have set up and talked about how some of the tropes that he portrayed on his show were disrespectful to black people in general. I told y'all it's the same with all of them. All of their shows were always disrespectful and detrimental to the people that look like them. I'm talking about him, I'm talking about Tyler Perry, I'm talking about Martin Lawrence, and I can name quite a few more of them. We should have never made them famous, but we did. And we need to do some self-reflection. The black community as a whole needs to do some self-reflection on who we made famous, who we allowed the industry to shove in our faces. Because the moment that these men got up and did some of the things they did, said some of the stuff that they said, some of the jokes that some of them have made, and particularly right now, I'm thinking of Mike Epps and that, infamous quote joke that he made, and I put it in quotation marks because what he said was not a joke. It was disrespectful and low-key both racist and colorist. If you remember what joke I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. The moment they got up and did this stuff, we should have checked them right then and there. We should have let them know you will not get up and portray our women, our men, our children in this negative, stereotypical, disrespectful light, or we will make sure you don't ever portray anything. We will boycott, protest, and refuse to support anything you put out from thus far until you find some better jokes, until you find something that's actually funny, until you can learn how to portray us in a positive light while also making it comical and respectful. But we didn't do that as a community. We put them on a pedestal, and then when people tried to call them out for the stuff that they did that we been should have checked them for, like I said, the black community weaponized themselves against those people. And the crazy part about all of this is a tale as old as time, so to speak. This has been happening since day one. It happens all the time. These celebrities, these actors, these actresses, these singers, these comedians, they be showing people without showing people, telling y'all without telling y'all what they're really about. And instead of seeing that and accepting it because people just want to see themselves in these people so badly, they want the representation. They want to idolize these people because they said a few funny jokes. They played in a few memorable roles. And it causes people to become delusional about these celebrities. It makes them not want to accept the truth about the things that they have done to get where they are, to get what they have, to be what they've become. But the devil is a good liar. We're going to learn as the Black community, I'm speaking it into the atmosphere, how to accept the truth and accept the fact that these people, like I said, are showing y'all who they are. We're going to learn how to accept the truth and then move on accordingly. And like I said with the Orlando Brown video, and I may do a podcast over this one as well, Dave Chappelle has shown y'all where he stands at. He has shown y'all his stance, whose side he's really on. Like I've been saying over and over and over again, people need to see it, they need to accept it, and then they need to act accordingly. And one last thing, allegedly, apparently, I don't know if this is true, but there were some people saying this somewhere around on YouTube, that this ninja had the audacity to fix his raggedy mouth, to say that Katt Williams was stopping somebody's bag. Now, some people were accusing him of feeling that way because his little comedy special on Netflix dropped, I believe, the same day that Katt Williams sat down with Shannon Sharpe, which is, I don't believe in coincidences, but that timing is mighty uncanny, but some people were trying to accuse him of just being mad because everybody's attention was more on that sit down than it was on his comedy special. And the question that I have is, whose fault is that really? If that's really the case, whose fault is it really that Katt Williams was more entertaining to watch while telling the truth and roasting people that he had the right to roast and set the record straight than it was watching his comedy special? Now, I really don't understand how anybody can fix their mouth to try and say that Katt Williams is stopping anybody's bag while we're talking about that, because this is the same Katt Williams that people have been coming out of the woodwork and saying, when I needed help, he helped me. I asked for $1,000 because I was in the bind. The dude gave me like $5,000. Even Kev on stage mentioned this whenever he was doing his, I forgot whatever it is that he sits down with the woman comedian that he's with. He was saying he's only heard like good things about Katt Williams concerning people when it came to them in a time of need, needing help, him helping them more than what they asked him to do, and he did not ask them for it back. And on top of that, he's pretty well known for putting people on, giving people jobs, having people on with him traveling when he's touring. So whose bag is he really stopping? And even if he was out here doing stuff like that, then either the bag wasn't really for you to begin with, or you just ain't got it like that. From the looks of it all, allegedly, Katt Williams has done more for Black comedians in the Black community than most of these Black comedians have done combined. But he got the audacity to be out here making it seem like Katt Williams is only coming after the Black comedians and allegedly stopping people back. Man, get out of our faces. But anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think and how y'all feel about all this respectfully down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all have a very blessed, beautiful, and safe day.